It's finally here, everyone. Today is the big day. Cars on the Road debuts on Disney Plus. All 9 episodes. Initially we thought Disney Pixar would release 1 episode per week, making us wait. But no, they were feeling generous and just dropping a massive load all on September 8th. And yeah, the excitement, the anticipation, the predictions, the speculation, the theorizing, all coming to a head. Gonna see if you're right, gonna see if you're wrong, and most importantly, you're gonna find out whether or not you like and enjoy the show. And I really do think almost all of us will love it. It's a great installment in the Cars franchise. Now, by no means is it as great as the first Cars movie, in my opinion, and it might even fall short of the other 2 movies, which is what we're going to dive into today. This is going to be my initial reaction and review of Cars on the Road. I'll give some Easter eggs during this video, a little bit of a breakdown, but I'm going to save that for future videos. After watching this, I think I will probably do a video on each of the episodes because there is quite a bit to break down in each of them. I think it would make for nice, fun 10-minute videos, basically, approximately, of each episode, especially some of the bigger ones there, and I don't want to lump them together. I think they all deserve their own time, but this will be more of a brief reaction, and like I said, telling you my thoughts on the show as a whole. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I love the Cars franchise. As you know, it's been part of my life for almost ever. I live it, and I absolutely enjoy collecting all the merchandise and whatnot. But that doesn't mean that if they misstep with something, I'm not going to tell you my true thoughts about it. I'm not going to be all lovey-dovey, all roses and whatever, violets, roses are red. I don't know what the saying goes, but we're going to just dive right in here. This won't necessarily go in chronological order. I want to start off with some positive thoughts here, and then we'll go from there. Okay, first and foremost, Disney and Pixar truly did craft a wonderful story for McQueen and Mater to embark on. One of the recurring tropes is the banter between McQueen and Mater, and it is fun. It's enjoyable to listen to. It feels real and authentic. It doesn't get old or repetitive, and I audibly laughed multiple times during the series, which I don't do often. I hardly laugh at something on the screen at a movie or TV show ever, so that's actually saying quite a bit. Like when Mater backfired the last time before the intro of that last episode, I thought that was funny. I thought that was very well timed. So that is just one example of when I laughed. And I think Mater's dialogue was actually very witty. I was afraid that they would dumb him down too much, but he was actually quite witty during the show and said a lot of very intelligent things and made some jabs at society and culture that we'll go into later in my breakdown video. Now, they did have to cram a lot into these episodes because they're essentially building a new world with each one, and so they weren't able to really lean fully into McQueen and Mater's arc, which was Mater always feeling inferior competitively. He wants to be the best at something, which I think he is the best tow truck. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think even within the context of the show, like McQueen would agree with that. But Mater, he doesn't see it that way. He wants to be good at some of these more random activities that they go on about. And McQueen is just, he's good at everything. He's athletic. He's obviously a race car, super famous. And Mater feels a little bit jealous in that way. Now, you could tell that, you can infer that's what they were going for. And it comes to a head in the movie episode when Mater is actually better than McQueen, and McQueen is ticked off initially, but quickly he changes his tune and apologizes. See, that should have been drawn out over multiple episodes. Like either McQueen, he's better at something else before that, but they didn't really go that route. Like they were always kind of like one or the other was at the forefront. Like McQueen and the Haunted Mansion episode, like that is basically McQueen's episode. And then Mater in the truck one, he, takes control of that. So they don't have too much of those back and forth, like competitive type moments that I think would have paid off better, when they finally come to terms with it. And then later on, when Mater and his sister go at it insanely there, which I thought might have been a little excessive, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Now, my biggest gripe with the show is something very technical, and it's an aesthetic choice that to me just came across as lazy. And a lot of you guys might already know what this is. We kind of perceived it and were able to discern it early on from the trailers, and that is the repetitive use of a lot of these animated models. Like they are just reusing, like, the triple R from before, like in second grade. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Now, Pixar truly took that to heart because they have recycled models from not only Cars 1, Cars 2, Cars 3, but also previous episodes within On the Road. Like Revo Koss, for example, is one of the Salt Flats classic rods there, and he reappears, that same exact model reappears during the Road Rumblers episode. That doesn't make much sense to me, and I think it is just lazy. And then the worst part of it all, in my opinion, I couldn't stand this at all. And again, like I said, I just want to be honest with you guys. I love the show. It was great. I'm so glad there's something new to discuss, but this was bad. When they basically confirmed that Ivy was at the Demolition Derby, I mean, isn't that what they're saying? Ivy was a Demolition Derby performer before. Now, they should have just leaned into this and made it actually the Thunder Hollow, but instead they took this weird route of making it like slightly different because they wiped off the decals on all of the Thunder racers in that lineup that you see there when Ivy is about to jump over them, but they're all the same colors except for Fishtail, right? And Taco, though, they left with the decals on. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. It would have been so cool, in my opinion, if they made it so, like, yeah, Ivy was once at the Thunder Hollow. It's like as if she was the Miss Fritter of that time, and you actually get to see Blind Spot, Taco, Hit, or was it Run? I don't know. Liability was in there. Who else was in there? You have, I think it was Pile Up right there, but they wiped off all their decals except for Taco, which makes no sense at all. I think it would have been so cool if they had all their decals and then you would have known for sure, like, okay, this is the Thunder Hollow from Cars 3. That's so cool that they made Ivy from that. But no, that's not the route they took. So that was the worst one of it all. There's a Roscoe lookalike during the movie episode. He kind of has the same coloring as Roscoe, and the worst part of it all is that his teeth are like broken. He's missing teeth in almost the exact same spots as Roscoe, which really just put it over the edge for me. You also see multiple times during the episodes that more Demolition Derby lookalikes appear. Like in the Salt Flats episode, one car named Lou. So they already made it so it's not Fishtail, right? We saw it. Maybe that's Fishtail. Like, we're going to try and give Pixar a hand here and be like, all right, Fishtail is now a Salt Flats racer. He moved destinations. He changed jobs, whatever. But no, they give this car a line and the subtitles say it's Lou or whatever. So not Fishtail, but has the exact same colors as Fishtail, has pretty much all the same dents and the same exhaust pipes in the hood. You also see like Bill there at the Salt Flats, and then later on during the Road Rumblers episode, you see like a Superfly repaint, you see another Fishtail repaint, you see a lot of like Ichigo Suki repaints. There's the one at the Circus, then there's another one when the Road Rumblers show that flashback of when they first got to the desert or whatever. And so basically, instead of going through all these examples here, I'm just going to say they reused almost everything. There was hardly any original models in the show besides, most notably, Mater's sister. But I believe that there should have been a lot more. I think, first of all, Mato's husband should have been a new model, but that's just a recycled one from Cars 2. I think that Bella Cardavere, the director of the movie, should have been a new model, but again, that's just reused from Cars 2. And then you could go on and on. Oh, Randy, who was the hotel host there. He was the person welcoming Mater McQueen into the hotel. That's a Steve Herschel repaint. Now, that's a cool one. It's a hearse, and it's a cool repaint, but it's just Steve Herschel. And yeah, I could go on and on about that. And that is my biggest gripe. It really took me out of the show a little bit because I'm thinking, like, are they really that lazy? Like, during the trailers, I was like, there's no way they keep doing this. They can't keep doing this. But they did. And they took it up to another level with that Demolition Derby scene there. That was bad, I thought. I thought that was pretty bad. Now, slightly similar to that, but not really. I need to take a drink of water here first. Hold on, guys. Was the truck stop scene. or episode, I should say. It kind of feels like a scene because this just feels like a movie split up into a bunch of parts, almost like the Marvel shows. But I did not like this episode because of the fact that none of the semi-cabs have any character to them. How realistic is that? You show up at a truck stop, which is nice. Like, they animated that well. The truckies, right? Created a new brand for that. Had a lot of cool signage around. The store looked good with a lot of different products like Dynaco stuff in there. But all the semi-cabs, first of all, they're all super clean, which I guess you could say that makes sense. There's a car wash there, okay? So cut them some slack there. Fine. They're all clean. Doesn't really sound super logical. Like, did they all get a car wash? They're all on the highway for hours, whatever. But they're all Easter egg colors with no decals. It doesn't make any sense to me. They should be characterized and they should be differentiated just like they did in Cars 1. Cars 1, they put so much wonderful effort. This makes me so much more grateful for Cars 1. If you look at the truck stop in Cars 1, each of those haulers looks real, gritty. They have their own decals, their own companies that they're driving for. And like I said, gritty. So it looks like they actually were out there on the road. These just look like manufactured Easter egg cabs that don't fit into the realm of the Cars world. They just don't feel real. Cars on the Road also suffered from the same exact problem during the wedding, where all the guests are basically like luxury vehicles, which doesn't make much sense. Now I know Mato here, looks like a pretty fancy old time car, right? I don't know, kind of looks almost like a Rolls Royce, kind of like the Queen. So I understand to a certain extent that you'll have a lot of rich friends like these Corvettes and Maseratis and other sterling looking models here. Like, I get that, but really all of them, and why are they all, I guess they're all dressed up. So this kind of confirms you kind of are supposed to get like a new paint job when you go to a wedding, like a black or a gray to resemble a suit. Now McQueen and Cruz completely tossed out the window, but all these other cars are black, like gray or silver. And I mean, they look cool. It's great to see some Corvettes. There was a gray Corvette in the movie episode, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm glad that that model is back. But for all of them to be like these fancy, rich models, like, again, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't make sense within the context of the Cars universe. Like, all these, I wish they were all different, and they should all be different. They should be nuanced. They should, have slightly different features to them. And instead, it looks like very copy-pasty. So I was a little disappointed with that, but once you get past that and just enjoy the storyline, it's a fun time for sure. And I know I sound like I've been griping here for the last 10 minutes about this stuff, but again, I want to be completely honest with you guys, and I want to share my genuine thoughts. I don't want to just be like, oh, it was all great, yay, go watch it. I mean, absolutely go watch it. Like, it is a fun road. I absolutely enjoyed it, I love Cars, and this is a great addition to it. I thought the animation was pretty beautiful. I say pretty beautiful because I thought the ghosts weren't great. I was hoping for a little bit more from the ghosts, but everything else was really nice. Like when they're driving through the countryside and you see the mountains in the background, you see the cornfields in the background. I thought that was really good. There was a couple other episodes that I thought it just looked pure. Like, it did look real. Some of the stuff they were going for, animation wise, that looks real. But when they, make all the trucks like just Easter egg pastel colors, that doesn't seem real. And so there was a little bit of contradictory features going on there. But as per usual, Pixar did a really good job with this, just making the world look aesthetically and visually pleasing on the eye. Now, another gripe, I know we're back to the gripes already, but in the synopsis for the show that came out at the very beginning of this entire saga for Cars on the Road, it does say that they will encounter old friends along the way. Like, I did not make that up in my Cameo video, which now just like aged like milk. It aged so bad, that, oh my God, I honestly want to privatize that video because it makes me sound like an idiot. But come on, it's not my fault, man. They literally said old friends would return along the way. So who are these old friends along the way? Like Ivy when she came back to the movie set? Like, is that what you're calling an old friend along the way? And then you do have Cruz at the end. I thought they shoehorned her in there in a weird way. I feel like you could have fit her in way better in several other episodes. I feel like you could have most definitely fit her in the salt flats as if she's actually training there during the off season. Like, that was the best in my opinion. It makes the most sense. But putting her at the end there, making her like the cousin of Mato's husband, seemed a little bit weird. It just seemed, again, a little bit unauthentic. It just seemed like, oh yeah, hey, that's pretty convenient. And so there are just some of these things here that take you out of the story a little bit because they don't feel like they truly would happen within the Cars world. Like, would you truly show up at this truck stop here and all the trucks just look perfect? Like, oh yeah, you have a red, you have a blue, you have an orange, you have green, you have a purple, you have a white, and they're all clean and they're all ready to sing. Just doesn't feel super real. And so I was a little disappointed that we didn't see any other cameos. I thought it was a complete missed opportunity in multiple spots. For example, and most notably, after the Road Rumblers incident and they're at the little gas station there and two cars come out of that car wash or whatever, one of them looks just like Van. And yet it's not Van. It could have been Van. That could have been Van and Minnie right there. You could have easily slapped them in, recast them, if you will, have a quick conversation with McQueen and Mater. It would have been so funny. They would have been like, what are you guys wearing? Why do you have a flamethrower? It would have been fantastic, but they blew that opportunity. Now, while we're on the topic of this Road Rumblers scene right here, I love their little friend that came with them there. Like, I think that actually really added to the story. I don't think they gave him a name, but I actually thought that was really cool, and I can't wait for Mattel to make him as a diecast. I mean, they can make so much from the show, that is for sure, though. Disney and Pixar set up the merchandise manufacturers fantastically. Dinosaurs, ghosts, circus clowns, and wedding type cars. I mean, they could go on and on. Oh, of course, the Road Rumblers and all that good stuff. So I thought, I mean, in terms of expanding the universe, they did a good job, in showing us a little bit more of the niche aspects to it all, some more of the, darker crevices of the Cars universe, especially within America. Now, I'm pretty sure that's all I have here for some of the notes that I took. Disappointed there were no cameos. Felt a little rushed. It's a fun story. I am very happy there's something new, and it just, is an overall fun road. Like, you're on the road, you do feel like you're on the journey with them. McQueen and Mater's chemistry is by far the best part to the show, which I didn't think I would say after Cars 2, where there was a lot of Mater, right? And that's even something McQueen says before the road trip, which I thought was actually pretty meta, in the fact that he's like, that's a lot of Mater. It's like, yeah, we got that as an audience in Cars 2. Cars 2 was a lot of Mater. But in the end, it was a perfect happy medium symbiotic relationship between the two of them, in which, again, the dialogue was fantastic. It was written so well. I thought that is probably the best attribute to the show, is that it was just written really well. And then Pixar just kind of failed with some of the background technical aspects to it that has nothing to do really with the story. I think the only story flaw is like Cruz Ramirez and not fitting in a couple more cameos here along the way, which again really isn't integral to the main story. There's one line, one of the best lines I think in the entire show, was after, they show up and they scare off the cryptid hunters. Mater literally says, wow, that was kind of cold. They didn't try and save me. Like, that's just smart writing. Like, that is just good writing right there. So props to the creators of the show and the screenwriters and all that for actually writing this extremely well. The dialogue was really good. And so, yeah, guys, that is all for my initial reactions and thoughts on the show. I know this video might come out a little bit before you see it, but that's because I used a VPN to watch it, NordVPN. This video is not sponsored by NordVPN, but I'm open to that. And yeah, I was able to watch it because apparently it came out early in Australia and Asia, which I did not know was going to happen, but it did. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy the series. Now, I don't know, you probably are watching this after I hope you did. I hope you watched this after you watch the series so you don't get spoiled, but I hope you enjoyed it. And most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. Let's get a face-to-face over YouTube comment section thing going, a little back and forth where we discuss our favorite parts and maybe our least favorite parts from the show. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, guys, stay tuned. I will do a breakdown of each and every episode. I'm sure there'll be a lot more videos on top of that because we will begin speculating on what's to come. I absolutely do believe there will be a season 2 that follows their trip on the way back, I feel like they almost confirmed it. Like, honestly, I would not have been surprised if there was a fourth wall break where Mater was like, yeah, it's season 2 time. I totally feel like that's going to happen, and makes total sense, right? Because McQueen decides to drive back instead of fly back. I thought it was a very like on the nose type of way of saying there will be a season 2. So fear not, more is to come, and hopefully more cameos in the back section, like going back. Yeah, let's go back to Radiator Springs and find a bunch of cameos, right? All right, guys, thank you for watching. Bye now. Oh, yeah, this was a sexy show.